What's up, Mr. Loaf? I hope my epic royalty-free music game does not put y'all to sleep before this show. It was called Gone Fishing.mp3, so it seemed suitable. Dang, Jaded. Send me a message on Discord on what we can do with our channel points. What do you guys want? Hello, Family Games and Pin Daddy. Mr. Vax. There is music. We can make channel points where anytime Kyle messes up, he has to do something silly. Thank you, Jaded. Obi, you like the royalty-free song? It's called Gone Fishing. Hi, Barry. Welcome to our show. We're going to start shortly. Well, if he took a shot, that would be helping him. We'd have to make him do like a handstand or a cartwheel or 50 push-ups, burpees. Ooh, yeah, Jaded. I should have used Fishtail's music on this, huh? Or he could solder blindfolded. All right, let's start the show. Are you all ready? See, Black Cat Pinball likes our music. Mr. Wolf, I'm actually kind of sad that the giant scar, blistering scar on my hands has completely disappeared. So I have no proof.
Is Kyle ready, or is he just sitting twiddling his thumbs? Yeah, I am.
Kyle, are you ready?
I'm just pushing pop bumpers.
Oh, his thumbs are almost twiddling. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 59 of PinTech Live. And today we are checking out Hotline and really just doing a kind of overview over EMs. Kyle's going to assist us and teach us a few tricks of the trade. And I'm sure there are a lot of you in the chat that have great tips too. So thank you for joining us today. How are you?
You're setting it up strongly. Mostly we're going to be sanding. I'm just going to try to...
I was trying to make it sound exciting at first.
No. It's going to be exciting because whatever we find underneath all of this wood putty is going to be interesting. But I'm excited to have an EM on the show finally. EMs are the superior form of pinballing. Once the electromechanicalness went away, pinball went downhill. So we're doing the right thing here. Yeah, I'm okay though.
Obi, Dragor, Dig 71, and Turin.
It's very hot in here.
So a few announcements, y'all, before we begin with the class. We are officially in full swing for our Father's Day campaign. It's our free shipping, $99 for domestic orders only. You can see everything down at the bottom. That way. Oh, wow. That's hard. You'd think after almost 60 episodes, I'd get used to where I'm pointing. Or $10 off international shipping. It goes through tomorrow. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Kyle. And the code is PINDAD. So this is the perfect time to get some parts to get ready for Father's Day, or, convince your children to go on to our website, marcopinball.com, and buy you some Father's Day presents.
Yeah. Convince your children that you don't need another pair of boat shoes and khakis or shorts.
Or you don't
and get
want
pinball
the macaroni heart, although it's super adorable sitting on your fridge.
Well, I mean, I'd be cool with that, but...
Silver jets.
Macaroni heart or desoldering foam?
I mean, I kind of want just macaroni.
Yeah, Dad needs a flipper rebuild kit. Absolutely.
I'm kind of getting hungry now. Jeez. Oh, I just pulled a nail out. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Oh, hello, Russ Main. Thanks for joining us. We love EMs too.
EMs,
Narnia Pinball.
the best way to go. Obi says, I'm going to find out the whole game is wood putty. Very possibly.
He was talking about the wood putty, actually, so I think that's going to come up.
Oh, yeah, don't worry. We're going to attack the wood putty. We're going to spend a lot of time with it. So.
Right. So another announcement we have is that we have a Discord group. So if you want to chat with us or other awesome pinball people, join our Discord group. A lot of what type of stuff do you guys talk about on there, Kyle?
Pinball,
pinball repairs,
alcohol, dogs, cats, more pinball, food.
It's kind of like the PinTech after hours. Everyone in the chat, a lot of y'all are in the chat, go and talk on our Discord group, and it's fun to keep up with everyone throughout the week.
It's really fun. It's fun because like the 3 people that are normally chatting with me, 4 people, are in here right now. And it's just fun. We get to chat throughout the weekend, and I could definitely tell in real life we would all be quite good friends. So. Yeah,
Jaded's right. Kyle was going to stream over the weekend, but he got very busy with his other house chores, so could not. And everyone in the Discord was constantly reminding him, trying to encourage him to turn on his webcam. So maybe this weekend.
I can cross my fingers and see. I actually was doing a public service this weekend by fixing other people's pinball games. And then when I got home, the last thing I wanted to do was touch my own pinball games. So,
Pinball.
Yeah, sometimes a little break is good, but I am at the point now where I am stressed out by the amount of projects I have and things that are like 80% complete. I can get Jungle Lord done if I spent like an hour with it. Indy 500 has another 4 or 5 hours to it. Who knows about this game? But we'll work on it. The problem is now 3 out of the 5 pinball games I have at my house are in some state of needing repair. So I need you guys to keep bugging me, and we could hang out on the weekend.
So you heard it. Keep bugging him.
Yep.
All right. And so our final announcement before we start is the most important one, which we need all of y'all help with. As you can see, Family Games is on Facebook. Matthew Rodman brought this event to our attention. It's called a Pinball Benefit. Let me show you guys the picture, and I'll talk about it a little if you haven't seen it on Facebook yet. So it's a pinball benefit tournament. The San Antonio, Texas pinball community are all rallying together to help young Elijah, who I believe is 4 years old, with his battle with leukemia. And they are doing a fun pinball tournament. They're doing a raffle, a silent auction to raise money for it. And Kyle, I have you back on camera.
I'm just looking at hotline information. I'm sorry.
So please support them. Here's the Facebook event page right here. And also, I am going to post their PayPal link because they are collecting donations. So if you want to help you pinball community out and help this awesome family out in San Antonio, Texas, it's beautiful. They like all the major manufacturers have sponsored sending swag and stuff. A lot of other local pinball companies and just people have been really coming together to support this family. And it's kind of what pinball is all about in the long scheme of things, creating a fun community where, you know, we all help each other. So here's the PayPal link right here if you guys want to show a little bit of love and support to them. It would be greatly appreciated. So big shout out to Matthew Rotman, aka Family Games, and Lauren Gray from Backbox Pinball, and everyone else in the San Antonio, Texas pinball community for putting this together to help the family. It's really awesome.
Help the little flippers out. Keep the family. I definitely. You need a. Please send me that PayPal link so I can donate a little bit as well, please.
Yep, and I'll put it in our Discord too. So,
yeah, that would be good.
So thank you all in advance.
Ooh, look, I'm double.
Now, let's learn about Hotline.
Or something. I was just going to refresh myself about Hotline. I needed to remember.
I'm supposed to do this before the show.
Yeah, well, I was trying to get the whole place set up before the show. Didn't have a lot of time today to get this all done, so it was like
Arcade Crusaders.
Last minute thing. Okay, yeah, 1966. This is a Steve Kordek game. Okay, that's exciting. But this is officially the oldest game I own now, which is kind of neat. This is definitely
When was it born?
1966.
Oh.
That was the mid 60s was a really fine time for pinball. Williams was Gottlieb made some really great games, but they were all kind of similar. They did some interesting things, but Williams was never afraid to try some crazy stuff. This game is definitely unique. There were two ultra prolific pinball designers from the 60s. One was Wayne Nyans, who worked for Gottlieb from sometime in the 1940s up until the late 70s. I believe. Wayne Nyans is also still alive. He is like 101 years old.
He lives like an hour down the street from me. Isn't that crazy?
Really?
That's nuts.
In
Wow.
Home, Arkansas.
I helped Michael Schiess at the Pacific Pinball Museum build a birthday present for Wayne. And we built this kind of like trophy looking thing, and at the top there were 3 score reels. And when he delivered it to Wayne, it was 099. And then when they brought it there, he rolled them over to 100 for his 100th birthday in 2019. So I guess he is almost pushing 102 now. But anyways, Wayne is amazing. We could talk about Wayne forever. And I would like to talk with, I was thinking about maybe interviewing Gordon Hassey and talking about these old timers a little bit. But Steve Kordek, on the other hand, was Williams' guy. And Steve Kordek was interesting. There's so many really fascinating games that he's made. Take a look, if any of y'all are at your computer right now, go into IPDB and look up a game called, it's Nags, N-A-G-S. Nags is a really neat...
Horses?
Yeah, it's a horse racing game. And it's got a horse racing mechanic in the back, right, where the horses will move and win a race. But at the top of the game, there is a rotating platter of pop bumpers. Each of them with a horse, a number associated to said horse. Again, it's like Williams was not afraid to try some crazy stuff in the 60s. I think that was either an early 60s game or a late 50s game. Anywho.
51.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
This game is not as insane as Nags is, but it does have a neat feature where this is like, I would kind of argue, I would like to argue with someone that this is the first pinball game with a dot matrix display. And you might say, Kyle, what the hell are you talking about?
Can you do the handheld on the playfield so we can see? Because like from the overhead, it just looks like
inserts.
Lights.
Yeah. Well, so before we do that, really quick.
I see it jiggling.
These are lit, but they're also rollover buttons.
Andrew Barney.
So hey, Andrew. So these will the goal here is to spell hotline, and these lights will light up to spell that phrase, right? So H-O-T. It's neat. So this game does have, it does communicate with you via a dot matrix. Anyways,
First dot matrix.
It's the first dot matrix display in pinball. It just so happens that it would take another, 20-something years for it to actually do other things. So anyways, I've always had an affinity to this game. The first time I saw it at the Pacific Pinball Museum warehouse, it's neat. Consider this game is from 1966, but I swear, like the back glass looks like something you might have seen in like, a recent Juxtapose issue. It's very contemporary looking in a strange way. But anyways, enough about that. Let's look at an electromechanical game for the first time. We're gonna go into this a little bit, but not too far. We'll probably work on this game again. Do you want to handheld it up really quick?
I do.
So what we're going to do today is try to address this. Someone has decided, for whatever reason, we're going to discover, to fill in the shooter lane with wood putty.
No. So that's a common thing, huh?
Well,
To that extent.
yeah. I have choice things to say about whoever did this, but whatever. I want to see if there's actually some damage here. The wood underneath does look slightly soft, but it doesn't look like... Generally, pinball will have water or damage down at the bottom of the game. Water runs down and it pools, whatever. Beer gets spilt, and if it slips through the seal, maybe it'll get here. Sometimes if games are... whatever. I don't know why, and we need to find out. There are no other signs indicating like massive damage, right? The playfield is actually quite beautiful.
Yeah, those colors are nice.
So I'm hoping that if there is any damage, it is definitely centralized here. We are going to work on sanding it off gently and prepping the playfield to do a little bit of that. Otherwise, really quick, because Emoto did want to show these. They are...
oh yeah, isn't that cool?
They're little rollover buttons. So it's kind of fun. The flippers are neat on these old Williams games too. They're like a die-cast aluminum, and they're supposed to have a red a paint in here that says flipper, but these are metal flipper bats, which is kind of cool. These lane dividers were really common in the 60s. They kind of went out of style pretty soon after this, but they are used in some games later. Jungle Lord does use these guys in like the Bagatelle at the top. This game does have a dead bumper, which is kind of neat too, with the very common Williams platter of 5 pop bumpers, which is very fun. Usually...
Are those the actual pop bumpers on the game, like with that jet?
Yep. Yeah, this was common. These are the original pop bumper caps as well. They're 2 pieces. The center piece is separate from the outside ring. And they also have this angle to them, if you could see that. These are original, which is, that's just the insane thing. This game is in way too nice of shape to have something like this exist. So I'm very curious to see what is underneath here.
Family Games asked, are they Bakelite dividers?
Maybe this green one here is marbled. I'm not sure if they're Bakelite, but I mean this one is marbled. Bakelite is a early plastic that was developed in the 30s and 40s. It was really common around that time. It was also, so you'll see a lot of older electromechanical games, mostly wood rails, that have this marbled type plastic around their old pop bumper caps. And that was a side effect of just how they made that plastic, and it is not reproducible now. So try all you can to save your old ancient pop bumper caps. These ones not so much. You can't get them like this anymore, but the old ones, do not just throw them away. Someone has repainted this upper apron, and there is a imprint of something here. And I'm hoping that I might be able to strip this paint off and reveal like an old license or warranty information. This game has lived in South Carolina for a long time. It does have a tax stamp on it from 1972. That's insane. $112. It's like, you know, inflation, whatever. But nowadays it's I think $300 or $200 or $300 for a license. And only 50 years ago it hasn't gone up too much. But anyways. Let's look in the back box really quick first.
Family Games asked, what's the correct term, jet or pop bumper? Are they interchangeable?
It's interchangeable. So the thing is like back in the day, right, there were dead bumpers. You had a bumper, right? The ball hits this and it does something. 10 or 100 points when lit. Those were very common in 40s games. And then in the 50s, there was the advent of a moving bumper, right? And the reason that I believe that they're called jet or pop is because of trademarks. So
right. Yeah, that makes sense.
They're interchangeable, but nowadays it's pop bumper. That's what everyone calls it, so that's what we call it. This might be really dark. It's not that bad.
No, it's good. It's not bad. I got controls.
Really quick, we'll look in here and just look at some electromechanical stuff.
Oh, Brett Smith.
Down at the bottom, we have these things are called Jones plugs. It's a style of plug. These allow the head to be separated from the cabinet. I can't tell you how many times I have gotten an EM come into the shop and someone has just cut the wires right there. It makes people very upset when I tell them how much it costs to get that replaced or repaired. It takes a long time.
Why would they just cut the wires?
Because people don't think. Not everyone's as smart as we are. In the head, generally you have your scoring controls and player logic. I don't remember what all of these are right off the bat, but we might be able to tell just by clicking around. Here's our credit unit. That's really simple. This is really gross. The credit unit, you've got two kinds of steppers. You've got you've got three kinds of steppers. You have a continuous stepper, like a score reel. They continue stepping forever. You have a step up, step down plunger, which is what a credit unit is. A step up, step down plunger unit means it can count up and also count down, right? So we've got two different coils here. One will move this unit up, one will count it down. So when you start a game, part of the logic, the credit unit will decrement. I guess decrement would be this way. Until it gets to 0. At that point, a switch will close, and that will tell the game, hey, there's no game anymore. Close or open. It depends on the manufacturer. These are the switches here for that. This is probably an end-of-stroke switch, so it knows when it has done a full step. And then you have a continuous, this match unit is also a continuous stepper, right? It's got one coil that steps these wipers around and around and around and around. So a lot of games, your match will be based on, the lowest score, point value you can score. So 10 points will probably turn this thing. So every time you score 10 points, this relay will fire, or whatever relay it is, And there's switches on this relay stack for 10 points that one will definitely fire your 10-point score unit, and one will definitely fire your match unit. So this thing will just continue stepping, and then through the magic of circuitry, the game will match and give you points. Or give you a free credit. I'm trying to see which, yeah. So I don't want to get too deep into it. I could geek out about this stuff for a long time, and it'll be really fun.
You're going to do an episode about score reels one day, right?
Yeah, Williams score reels are the best of all of them because they don't really require a lot of work. Gottlieb ones are the worst because they require a ton of work to get them to move smoothly. But what we have here is we have a coil with a pawl, which goes in and it steps a little ratchet, which turns the score reel. The score is all fake, right? Like none of this, the game has no idea how many points you actually have. The only thing that the game really knows, the only thing it really cares to keep track of is the tens, because depending on where the wiper is on this circuit board, if it matches up with something on this circuit board in a wiper, and that's where the game ends, it will award you a credit. So that is why there's a circuit board. We will go over this in detail when we actually work on this game.
Hello, Daniel. Welcome.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just for some general information, when you are working on an electromechanical game, one like this that is new to me, the first thing you always do is disassemble the steppers, clean them, and make sure that they have good action. If the steppers cannot step and get to where they need to be to start a new game, it will not work.
Oh my gosh.
What?
I just noticed. No one said anything in the chat. The camera is upside down.
Oh, whoa.
In my shot.
Yeah, it is. Ha! Wow.
We were so close to it, it didn't register, and then I saw some of the studio, and I was like, why are those pinball machines on the ceiling?
That's really funny.
Out of room.
So yeah, that's the back box. This is a very simple game as well because it is only a one-player game. 4-player games are very, very, very complicated in comparison. There has to be circuitry in the game to keep track of more than one player, right? And there's definitely going to be more to it. Let's open up the game here really quick too, and we can take a look at the bottom board under the playfield, etc. Before we
It looked normal to me too.
yank the playfield out.
Oh, thank you so much, Molly, for the gift subs.
Whoa.
That's awesome.
Hey, thanks. Man, you guys rule. Okay, let's go back to the handheld camera and we'll take a look-see in the inside of the cabinet really quick as well. Is there enough light in here to see this?
Yes.
Maybe, should I bring another light?
It's good.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Some simple stuff in the EM cabinet. Again, it's like this is a one-player game, so it's hyper simple, but we have the score motor here. This is kind of like the processor. There are things that is required by the game, intricate logic to fire multiple relays, to do different things. That's all controlled by the score motor. What do we have here? This is the advance unit. I don't know what the advance unit does on Hotline. This is a game that's like pre-bonus, right? A lot of the times games that an advance unit we'd have to look at the schematic. This might change what series of letters we might be spelling on the playfield. There's all the little switches for the rollovers and all the light bulbs. Kind of gnarly. Let's keep under here for a second though. Transformer, that's pretty basic. Our fuse clips, these fuse clips are usually okay. All old Bally games, you always want to replace these fuse clips because they're all bad. They are bad. If you have an old Bally game and you've never done it, they're bad. So go fix that. We've got more Jones plugs here, right? This one here is for the coin door. This one here looks like it's for the flippers and tilt, etc. There's some other Jones plugs here, little singular things, where it allows you to change some of the logic with pricing, right? So this one here is a 25-cent adjust. This one's set up right now for 25 cents, you'll get 3 games.
The 60s were an interesting time because this was the end of the dime era of pinball. This coin door, these might not be the original price plates, but this is the way that it would have been set up. 2 nickels would get you a game, a dime would get you a game, and a quarter would get you more. The amusement industry was big in trying to promote more coinage and making operators more money. So if you gave people, 3 games for, you get 5 cents off if you buy 3 games, it's kind of like what, Stern promotes now. 3 games for $2. It's just inflation, opposite. We've got relays down here that control all sorts of things. The interesting one, actually this doesn't have any lock or make-break relays, so never mind. I don't know what these control. I can't really read the labels, which are underneath. We will definitely probably need to be messing with some of these once we start trying to get the game in order. We have a gigantic bank of relays here. The way that the logic on this thing is set up is generally these are only triggered once a game. So you actually have a gigantic 115 volt coil here that will pull in and reset. Sorry, it's dark, but this will pull in and reset all of these relays at one time. And that's usually part of the start sequence. When we look at some of these relays, I mean, some of them are kind of ambiguously named, right? B relay, A relay, the special relay. Number 12, 11, 10, I have no idea what those do, but we'd need to look at the schematic to kind of figure it out. But generally you'll have like I guess you just called this like a bank of relays. Gottlieb did this a ton. Williams always did it this way with one gigantic coil and a big reset arm. It's kind of cool. So the way these work too, it's like it is a relay. You do have a series of relay coils back here. So when one of those things is triggered, right, this is the game over relay. When the game over relay triggers, it closes and opens, a whole series of switches. So that is why in the logic, right, the way that the designers would program this game, these are really only used once a game. At the beginning of the game, part of the reset sequence, which is controlled by the motor, this thing will pull in, boom, reset them all, and throughout gameplay, you might achieve some of these things. I don't know. We'll look at that in motion once we get a working game. Other than that, flippers. Flippers are very flimsy back in the 60s, and this one's super duper loose. It's got the original Williams link in here. That's neat. This game is very unmolested. They're very, very small, very weak, but it's enough action for a game of this era. That one.
Why is that coil black?
That's a replacement. Most of them are original, which is actually kind of neat. A couple of them aren't. We've got a replacement pop bumper bracket here. But yeah, it's kind of cool. Actually, it's in such good condition, it just destroys my soul that this shooter lane is so screwed up. And this is what I was saying, where there might be a little softness in the shooter lane. You see how the wood is kind of delaminating right here?
Okay.
So I'm not sure if there might be like a massive amount of water damage or something, but we'll find out shortly.
Cool.
Yeah.
So a few questions from the chat.
I'm sure there are.
Nitrog was asking about old ballet machines. Asked he said would be really great if you could one day do how to troubleshoot the reset issue on ballet machines, and has an issue right now saying he replaced the BR and the C5, C6, and C11, but still no luck. It's better, but still resets. He's talking about like WPC games. Yeah, I'm going to do that on my Twilight Zone. I need to do that on the weekends because the game is at my house. But that will be a lot of very valuable information once we actually get to it. I thought you were talking about resetting electromechanical games, which is the biggest problem with an EM, is a lot of people can't figure out how to get them to reset. And that's because the game needs to be in a state
it needs to know when it has reset so it can start a fresh new game. And that is a huge issue with electromechanical games. So
Nice.
I'm going to
And
unplug
then-
the playfield really quick while you keep asking me these questions, but go ahead.
Pinball reviewer had a lot of comments. One of them I'll read to you, Kyle. Says, "What irritates me the most is someone saying EMs are not reliable. They are just as reliable or more so. So there is no boards that will blow up if there's a short. Just a fuse will blow. Find the short and replace the fuse, and you are up again."
Yep, I would absolutely agree with that. The thing is most of these electromechanical games have not been put through their paces in decades, and they really require constant use to be reliable. Case in point, right? You have a lot of people getting into pinball, and maybe they don't necessarily know what they're getting into. They just buy the first game or the cheapest game they can find, and a lot of the time that's an old electromechanical game. And a lot of these people, in my experience when I was doing full-time pinball tech stuff, right? They have no idea why is this bill going to be $1,600 when I just bought the game for $300? You don't really ever have to replace a lot of parts on an EM unless you're going for cosmetic stuff. It's mostly troubleshooting and time needed to work out all the issues. That being said, I put my Mars Trek into the arcade here, or one of the arcades here, months ago, and that's the only game I've never needed to do a service call on. It just works. If you continuously play an electromechanical game, they do not bust. They're amazing. That being said, coils can get locked on, and you'll blow out coils every once in a while, but there's no chance of catastrophic failures with electronics most of the time. So yes, I would agree, but it does take a different skill set, and there's not a lot of electromechanical engineers anymore, so they're just more difficult to keep working, I guess.
Pinmaster. Hello to Funky Fresh Fred.
Hey, Fred.
Bang Back Pinball Lounge.
Fred just got
I'm drinking to you now.
a Rick and Morty at the arcade.
Yeah, I want to play it.
It's pretty neat, and a new gun. Or I think he got another Willy Wonka, and it's like it's not a collector's. I think it's no, it is. It's the middle edition. I forget what Jersey Jack calls it, but I was over there helping him work on some stuff this weekend, and that's why I didn't
that's
stream.
awesome.
I had to help Fred. I wanted to help Fred, so.
Yeah, so if you guys want to see Kyle, you should have just come out to Bang
Yeah.
Back Pinball last
I'm to bang
weekend.
back next time something breaks. Anyways,
It's an
were there
Ellie,
more
he said,
questions?
for Willy Wonka.
I was about to yank this thing and
Awesome.
put it out onto the table.
Okay, before we do that,
I'm good, Steve. I can get this on the table myself.
Scott Covey on YouTube asked, "What is the William showing on the old paper diagram in the lower box?" You take your handheld camera inside of the cab. There's like a Williams diagram, like kind of glued to the side or something.
There's a lot of things glued to the sides of the cabinets.
Let's look at it.
Which ones? So this one here is the assembly of the motor and how to remove the
wait.
motor from the frame.
Okay, hold on. Let me focus it real quick.
How to
Wait,
adjust
go
a
back.
ball tilt.
Go back. Go back. That thing's awesome. I gotta focus. Come on, little dude. Ooh.
It's just how the motor goes together in case you need to take the motor out.
It's awesome.
How to adjust the ball tilt. Loosen screw at the slotted position, adjust up or down as desired, and tighten screw.
Nice.
I
I like it. What else you got in there? Ooh, there's
If
another
line
one.
voltage is low, change lead from 24 volt lug to lug volted high or labeled high tap. That is something a lot of people do. This is probably the high tap lug right here. A lot of people will just high tap their electromechanical games to make them faster, and that is not recommended. I would very highly recommend you not to high tap a game unless you need to. That will increase the voltage going to all of the coils by a few volts, and that was there to compensate for bad voltage at the wall. We're lucky to live in an era where we have mostly unstable and uninterrupted power
to our homes now, and we don't have to worry about low line voltage. So that is something that I don't recommend doing unless you really need to do it. It does make these things a little peppier, and you can break stuff. So.
Ooh, Pinball Reviewer also has a 1935 big game.
Oh, neat.
Have you ever played or seen that one maybe at the Pacific Pinball Museum, Kyle?
Probably. I've seen a lot of these really old games, but some of those really old ones that don't have any actual art, they're kind of non-memorable. But I really, really, really love and appreciate the older games. They're flipperless games are some of my favorites. They're neat. I had before I moved here, I sold it. It was one of the only games I sold before I moved here. But I had a 1937, it was either a United or a Genko, it was called Venus. And it was really neat. It just had a bunch of, pretty girls. And it's just I don't know. Those old games are just really fun. I really would like to get some more early flipper games, though. I've never owned a wood rail, other than those 30s games I've owned. But I would really like to get a wood rail flipper game.
That would be cool.
One day.
We do have another question from the Pinball Mafia, Alan, but real quick, what are you unscrewing right now?
I'm unscrewing the back apron. We are going to be putting this game on a new rotisserie that our fearless leader here at Marco discovered and prototyped, and we are going to use it. But to use this rotisserie, I need to take the rear apron off, and the easiest way to do that is going to be like this, and then throwing it on a table to remove it. So I'll show you what I'm doing once we get onto the table.
So where is that question? Pinball Mafia Alan says, I have an abracadabra that was working perfectly until we moved it from the Mafia headquarters back to my house. Now it will turn on, but I can't start a game. What should I check first? It's a good one.
I'm not going to be able to tell you what to do, but I could give you some things to think about. There's bazillion factors.
Anyone in the chat that can help them?
Well, you have to tell. It's like, not starting a game is very vague. So is that is it trying to reset? Is it stuck with the motor running over and over and over and over again, but it's not actually ending and kicking a ball out? Because that's one issue. But if you have the game and you just push the start button and it's actually not doing anything, that's going to be a whole different issue. That's where fixing solid-state pinball games is very procedural.
Won't do a thing at the start button.
Do you have credits? I would try tripping just try tripping one of the coin mechs and seeing if the game starts. If you cannot start it from there, open the game up.
There are credits.
Try tapping the start relay. Make sure that all your Jones plugs are actually seated and snug. Make sure that they're clean. And then, if you really want to get adventurous, open it up, find the start relay, and click it in and see what it does. You force the game to start. And if it starts just fine, then the problem might be somewhere between the credit unit and the start button. Yeah. It's hard. What I was saying is solid-state games are quote-unquote easier to fix because they are more procedural. When you have an issue, generally there is one problem area to look at. When you look at a schematic from an electromechanical game, there are many, many lines and circuits that cross each other that cause all sorts of, I don't know, they're just incestuous almost. There's so many things in line with each other.
All right, we're all disconnected. We're panning over to the table that Kyle has set the pinball machine on.
Yeah. We will.
We're panning. We are panning. Who owns Marco Pinball? That would be Mark and Nancy Mandeltort are the original founders and owners of Marco Pinball, established in 1985. And I will say too,
actually, Steve,
Mafia,
maybe come over here. We're almost ready to put it on. Sorry, Moto.
If you are still stuck, you can jump on the next Fun with Pinball clinic.
Oh,
and
shit.
That's an awesome it's not a live stream, but
It
it's
used to be red
a
anyways.
video conferencing where if you have troubles
another one
with
of
your
those.
EMs, you sign up, you tell them what the issues are, and you have your webcams ready. And then during the seminar clinic, they'll call you up and you turn on your cameras and then you show them what's going on, and the awesome EM coaches in that room will help you service it right there. So hopefully you get that abracadabra up and running.
They're a giant pain to take apart, though. When Dom and I did it on his Liberty Bell, it was a
Nice piece of.
that 60s Chicago steel. Okay.
So yeah, do you guys want to, if we're gonna be staying there for a while, maybe walk the
We're
camera
not.
over to the
We're
left
gonna be
a lot?
we're gonna be working right here. But what we are going to do is try to set the pinball,
got you.
the play field up onto this a new outlook on a rotisserie. These are extraordinarily heavy-duty bicycle stands. And what this will allow is us to, these are great because they move up and down. You've got a lot of versatility, so you don't just have to work on a game or a play field when you're sitting. Personally, I have never really ever used a rotisserie before. When I do playfield swaps, I am working on tables, and I've never found it necessary to buy a very dedicated piece of equipment for doing something like this.
Oh,
But
Opie got one.
these are amazing because who doesn't have a bicycle and needs to work on it? Bam!
Can we
Double
get
purpose.
another shot of it? Because it's really hard to see. Like maybe you can
Yeah.
swing around green cam, or you can set up the handheld camera to shoot in that direction.
We will shoot in this direction once we get the dang thing on once we get the
Well,
play
we
field up
wanna
here.
See how you're getting it on. So let's use our cameras. Yeah, that's an awesome shot. That's pretty cool.
I'll work the, let's see, I'm going to work on that side. So I want the back to go here. I'll do the back because that one's a little goofy. We're going to have to try to get the jaws. You know, obviously we're not going to want to pinch switches and stuff, but these relays are
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
danger close. I'm thinking I might actually loosen these relays so I can slide them forward or let them hang a little bit so we can get a good bite back here. That's only like a ½ inch. These things are, yeah, let's loosen. Better be safe than sorry.
If you have to work on your bike and your playfield at the same time, you should just buy 2 PinTisserie bike stands.
No, when you buy this from us,
Problem
you get 2, right? Because you need 2 of them to hold a play field.
Right, so you should buy it twice so you have 4.
Yes, so everyone can work on their bicycles at the same time, and you can do 2 playfield swaps at the same time.
Can we walk? Is there no room to walk over that Sony and like just walk it to the left more instead of panning it and breaking the fourth wall?
Enjoy that broken
Oh,
wall.
Michael Stokes says, haven't seen or played Zodiac in 40 plus years. Sweet. Yes, and Michael,
That's planets.
That's like the prototype to Zodiac.
No, well, no, it's even more interesting than that. It's nope. Zodiac is a 2-player game too. Planets is unique, not even Add-A-Ball. Planets is unique because it does not award replays. They only made a handful, and when I mean a handful, I mean we're talking a couple dozen of these games just for New York City, because New York City had some very restrictive laws that went in place to even get rid of Add-A-Ball laws. So Planets is Zodiac, but the circuitry for the replay is absolutely, totally omitted. But it's neat because the credit unit's actually still there. It's just there's no hole for it in the back glass or anything. So what they most likely did was they took Zodiacs off the line and they just did quick modifications to turn them into something else. That is one of the next games we might work on electromechanical wise on the show. I really want to document it better in the condition and what it's in right now. I've been talking to Jay at IPDB for a while because there's just not a lot of these things out there. And the one that he has most pictures of online is actually modified heavily. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, my favorite part of the story, which is what I was going to say, was that that's the first game that Mark and Nancy would play not first game, but that's their game that they would
I'll bring this
play
side
in
over
college
there.
together, which I thought was very sweet. And
Do
Mark was
you-
saying this might be the actual game we played in college together.
Since there's so
way back
few,
when in New York City.
the chances are very high. Do you want to get your side in first, and I'll hold?
So you
That should
slide
work.
it
Let's try to
in
get it as centered as
and-
possible, if you can. Are we running into the out hole?
Because then you got your out hole back down there.
Okay,
This
that'll be
angle
fine then,
is
however you can
terrible.
manage. So really tighten it down first, and then we'll rely on the cam afterwards. And I'll show the action of the mechanism once we get it on the rotisserie. But thanks to my beautiful, wonderful assistant, probably,
Is that too tight?
you know what? No, bring it forward a bit because it's not in the jaw. It's in the back, right? We
So
want
bring
it,
this back a little bit?
bring it towards me just a hair.
Okay.
Now clamp it down and, no, forward more, just a teeny bit.
That'll work.
Oh, perfect. All right, I like that.
Can we see what you're doing?
This is kind of
We just-
precarious, so
Maybe on his end a little better.
give me a second. This is definitely a two-person job. This would be difficult to do by yourself if you did not.
Fully populated playfield.
Yeah, especially on newer games that weigh like a ton. This is very light in comparison.
Okay, so you twist that thing around to tighten it down
Yeah,
onto
can you
the
grab?
wood.
Are you all the way through? Like if I let go?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I need to hold the wing nut on the bottom while we tighten down.
Oh man.
Strong.
Getting heavy.
Getting heavy? Oh, I better work faster. Okay, I got you.
Moto, you look so excited.
I'll use my knee to hold the wing nut.
I know.
There we go.
We need. I mean, I can kind of see what's happening.
We're gonna see what we can get. This is the hardest part. Once it's here, everything else is a breeze. It's wonderful because you don't have to. Can you actually, if I hold it here, can you hold the wing nut down here?
Yeah.
And then that will allow me to tighten this guy here. All right. Once it's on here, it's great because you have easy access to the bottom and upper sides of the playfield, right? So.
Does it rotate? Oh yeah, it's a
Yeah.
PinTisserie. Has to rotate.
Get one more.
I think you're good.
Scott Covey asked if you got
feel-
the original schematic
feels
with the
pretty good.
hotline pin.
Ah. No, this one unfortunately does not have the actual schematic. Hey, look, it's on there. I might need to raise this side up just a hair. Could you stabilize that side? Actually, you know what? I might bring it down. I'm tall, but I would like to. There we go. Now I'll lower this
What are
side.
the lengths that it can go? Like, what's the lowest it can go, and what's the highest it can go?
It can go very low. We'll look at it. It's like a microphone stand, right? Thanks, Steve.
Sure.
You rule. Let's get the handheld cam on and we can observe some of the things we did here. We're going to break the fourth wall a teeny bit unless I go over here. Okay. You can handheld it now, Emoto.
Alrighty.
So
Whoa.
these are the jaws, right? And they're designed, right? They're triangular because you're supposed to be able to fit a bicycle frame through here, which will allow you to work on it. But it does clamp down tight enough and come small enough to pinch a pinball playfield. So you've got this jaw here. What we were kind of struggling with, which why this is a two-person job unless you pre-tension them, is there is a wing nut under here, and then you are tightening this bolt on this cam. And what you'll do is you get this into a good spot, and then you will bring this lever down, which will impart a bit more force once it moves onto this portion of the cam and get it nice and tight. Kind of similar to how like these joints here work. So you've got two joints here to be able to, this one controls the legs, right? So you can set them with a nice wide footprint so you do not kick it, or it's just got a stable footprint. And then you've got another joint here which allows you to raise and lower the playfield. This knob here tightens up on this shaft, which will allow rotation. And we rinsed repeated for the other side.
The stand does actually come with all sorts of little, trays and stuff like that. I don't have all of them installed, but I will mess with it once we continue using this. This thing probably won't be on the rotisserie for super long, but it will be nice because we'll be able to have a nice stable platform to work on the top side of the playfield. A lot of the time when I am swapping a playfield and I am working on the bottom side, I will, put a bunch of blankets down, then rest the playfield on the blankets. And most playfields, not counting modern playfields, right, with ramps, etc., they do stick out, right? You can see that if we even this up, the pop bumpers do stick out a bit over the level of where the wood is, right? So all of the force is really being put on these pops, etc. So working on the bottom, that's okay. But if we needed to work on the top, not in the game, we're not going to want to rest the game on this relay bank or this stepper or anything like that because that can cause damage. So this is great, actually. I really like it. I'm going to try flipping it really quick. Oh, hey, look. There's a Gottlieb pop bumper bracket there.
Oh, cute. Can you adjust the green overhead camera before you flip it so we can watch it flip gloriously?
You mean you want to watch me maybe drop it? No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. Da-da-da. Oh gosh. What way is the direction? Something like that. Okay. Actually, Steve, can I just have one set of hands really quick? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to loosen.
That's what I've got.
Okay. The one-handed man.
No, I've got one set of hands.
Oh. Good.
This set comes with two.
Let's roll this baby. And make sure that it is stable and happy. Since we are kind of off at not centered.
Kilter, but it seems pretty sturdy.
Let's raise it up a little bit like that. Now let's tighten the heck out of these things.
There's no more heck left in this.
Good. I've sucked the heck out of it. Okay. I'm going to try to do that by myself next time, but I'm glad you were here to help the first time. Thanks, Steve.
Sure.
Okay. How are we doing for time? Because I was afraid this was going to be 2 hours of Kyle sanding, and now I feel like we've been doing this for a really long time.
About an hour in.
Okay, cool. Let me also reframe this camera really quick. Yeah, I like this. It's neat because, again, not only is it neat because it has multiple purposes, but at the same time, it's not as clunky as a PinTisserie, right? The old PinTisseries of past. This is adjustable in so many more dimensions. I'm digging this. So what we will move on to next, and I'm sure that there's a lot of questions I need to address, we are going to remove the rail, the outside rail here. I'm going to remove the inside rail here. I'm going to remove the ball trough, the runway, and then I will also maybe remove this post here. What I'm going to do is once we get all that off, I'm going to put down some painter's tape, some super low-tack painter's tape that I bought over here, and I am going to start slowly sanding away at this wood putty. I am hoping that will be the least destructive way for me to start removing this to figure out what's underneath. I did very gently start chipping away at it here with a screwdriver and a blunt object to try to get it to chip up, but I'm afraid the tack and the adhesion of the wood putty, if any of this wood is very soft, it's going to start planking and ripping the wood away, and that is exactly opposite of what we are trying to do, which is preserve what we can. So I wonder if I have these set at just the right tension where I might be able to turn it ever so slightly. No? Okay. I think, so I don't have to keep resetting the dang camera, I'm just going to get on my knees a little bit here and start removing these rails. Yeah.
Nice. How do you remove the rails? Oh, from underneath?
Yeah, they're installed with screws through the bottom. If you're ever swapping playfields, really make sure that you countersink these screws. I've a lot of what I got to do at the Pinball Pirate was unscrew up
a lot of people that have done playfield swaps and did them very poorly, which is fine because a lot of that comes with experience, right? But I see a lot of people just jam these screws in there and then they would either break into the rail or they would protrude so far that the playfield would sit all weird in the cabinet.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
Look at my
Look at that drop ceiling.
that drop ceiling in my Adam's apple.
Oh.
Welcome to the underside of
Good thing
Kyle.
you don't have any boogers
I probably picked them all.
and ate them.
Yeah, that plywood does look like, ooh, that is delaminating a bit. Okay, so I definitely think there is going to be some damage under here. We might need to impregnate this with some wood glue and clamps once we get all of the putty off.
Why would you use
Add.
putty instead of wood glue? This is me being very ignorant right now.
Because someone was probably trying to cover and build up over some damage that already existed. So no one was trying to glue this back together. They were trying to cover up the damage that already existed. Or Williams used a bit of wood glue to attach it. I see remnants of something that could also just be old varnish as well. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm probably going to end up, to get the plywood to laminate itself, I'll probably get in there with a little bit of wood glue or super glue. Super glue is good at rebonding plywood like this. And then clamping it to get it nice and flat. But we'll see what we get. I am not a good woodworker. I have also never attempted anything. Oh, you darn thing. I have to remove part of this relay bank to get that screw out. That's annoying. I can get this one. So if anyone has any tips, or if anyone in here has ever attempted something like this, I'm very, 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 very receptive to any sort of advice. I would very much appreciate any sort of advice as well.
Yeah, Pinball Reviewer said I had to put a bunch of wood glue on cap corners, but not had to do playfield yet.
Yeah, I've glued together many cabinets, but I've never really restored a shooter lane or anything like this, so we'll see. I think at the end of the day, I want to make it as sturdy as possible, but I have come to accept that this very beautiful hotline playfield might be destroyed underneath here. And I have already come to terms that I might need to do something fun with the shooter lane, like maybe painting the damaged part of the shooter lane and doing something fun. Maybe like painting on some faux wood or something like that. Or I'm sorry, not wood. Painting on some faux like water or waves or something like that.
That would be cool.
We'll see. What are you laughing at?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh. Am I hard to hear, Saguito? How's that for you?
This is kind of defeating the purpose of a PinTisserie by me climbing underneath it, but again, I'm mostly doing this just so I don't have to continuously reset the cameras. And I was thinking I'd be under here for like 5 seconds, but it's pinball, so of course nothing.
So can you raise that to actually be somewhat more of your height? Like, how high up does the PinTisserie go?
It'll go a lot higher than this, but I want it to be at a comfortable working level when I actually am working on it, you know? If I was going to work on it like a mechanic underneath like this, I could totally raise it up another foot and be happy under here. But to drop the relay bank really quick, there goes the screw.
Arcade Crusaders asked, is the shooter line supposed to have a bevel?
Yes.
Thanks, Saguito.
Yeah, shooter lanes always have a little bit of a bevel
Closer
to them.
my mic.
And that's what I was thinking, is maybe the shooter bevel, due to some damage, started to degrade. But we'll find out.
Where did this game come from?
I bought it from Ryan.
Okay.
I don't know where he got it from, but he pulled it out of someone's garage, you know.
Nice. Our Crusaders asked, have they filled the whole thing?
Yes. It looks like the thing that I notice is it looks like they put an evil, awful person, put wood putty all the way up where the groove is. So I'm thinking that maybe some of the issue could be to do with said shooter groove. We'll see. I'm going to reattach the relay bank here with a couple of the screws, and we can continue sanding.
Gosh, that's so. How heavy is that thing? It's so massive.
Quite.
The Gorilla Pinball has a.
What?
Would it be easier if you rotated the playfield right now?
Yes.
The PinTisserie?
But like I said, I just don't want to keep messing with the camera angles and stuff, so I'm working on it old school.
How would that mess up the camera angle, though?
You already had one up top.
I'm lazy.
If you just PinTisserie it
You're so
over.
lazy that we had to get a second.
Yes. Cut me a break. Hold on.
Yeah, we got a top angle and a bottom angle. Any way you rotate it, I will see it.
Cut me a break. Okay.
He's like, I'm almost done. I like being down here under the table.
I like doing
What's up,
things
Phil?
Spartan. As soon as you start making things comfortable and easy, the challenge is gone. That's what I'm gonna say. Okay.
So it's a 6'8" dude crawling under a PinTisserie.
I'm gonna gently
You
pull
look so
this
tall
off.
in this shot.
Well, good. It's an accurate representation of reality then. Ta-da!
Yeah, Mr. Loaf said, my guess is that someone saw the damaged wood and thought the shooter lane was part of that damage.
That's possible. God, it's terrible. Look at this BS. It's like someone didn't even, the problem is like, if this was smooth, I would just get over it, but I'm resisting the urge to use so many wonderful descriptors that I'm not allowed to say right
Ew.
now. But look
That's
at this.
some texture.
It's just,
Wait, hold on. Let me drop the exposure real quick so we can see. Okay. Ugh. It's like a sandy beach.
yeah, it's terrible. And right, look at the shooter lane probably went up to about here. That's about normal, right? So next step, I'm going to yank this off. Next step after that, I'll take this off. I will novice this quickly, and I will lay down some painter's tape, about here, along with the line of where the silk screening ends. So that way I can gently sand away and not do damage to the painted part of the playfield.
I think you're going to sand it down, and then you're going to find, some curse words written in Sharpie under there, and that's why they would puttied over it.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. I can get that out using Novice.
Or like a magical code to something.
I'm okay with a treasure map. I could use some.
A treasure
Cash.
map? Oh my gosh. That's like my dream.
Well, we are in the Carolinas. There is all sorts of wonderful pirate stories,
And all that
Treasure hunt.
Civil War gold.
Yeah, there's definitely some Civil War gold somewhere here in beautiful,
Lexington.
yeah,
Red Bank.
Red Bank. Yeah, ugh. I don't want to find that treasure.
Detector next time I'm there.
I've done metal detecting before. I did lots of metal detecting when I was in college.
Nice. What was the coolest thing you found?
Lighters, a parachute harness from World War II.
That's cool.
I found all sorts of bullets. I found a German MP40 submachine gun that is in a state of disarray. It was very fun.
You found a whole submachine gun?
Yeah, man. I was metal detecting in Belgium, in the Ardennes forest.
Detector.
Did you have to dig a lot to get to that? That's crazy. How a
Yeah.
whole gun?
Yeah, a whole gun.
I don't
Found
believe you.
lots and lots and lots of guns, in fact.
I don't believe you. Obi asked or said you might have to bust out a Dremel for all that sanding.
No, I'm going to do it by hand. It's going to take a long time, but it allows me to exert good control over what I'm doing. When you start using power-assisted means, sometimes you can go overboard. Oh, unfortunately, I did not position this towel or this moving blanket. Would you mind actually going and grabbing another moving blanket from over there? Thanks, man. Oh, that's a stripped out screw. I would love to go metal detecting around here, though. I'm sure I'd find all sorts of cool car keys and wedding rings and stuff like that.
Ooh, it has been removed.
Yeah, just drop it there. You're good. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, a few more screws here. This one is extraordinarily stripped out, so that makes me mad. I might have to bust out my vice grips. Nope, I got it if I do it slowly.
Yeah, Daniel said here in Europe, there's lots of World War II metals still in Earth to find.
Yeah, I found a lot of, I was doing archaeological stuff. We mostly were focusing on some World War I battle sites, but we did also get to go do a current dig that they were doing in the Ardennes forest, where a bunch of fighting happened right
scary.
after the June 6th landings at the beaches. So I'm going to grab the last two screws underneath here for the, whatchamacallit, the runway.
Hello, Project Pinball Charity, Mr. Spolar. Thanks
Hey,
for joining
Dan.
us.
Thanks for joining.
Did everyone get their raffle tickets yet for the next Project Pinball raffle? I bought mine. I keep seeing more every time I check that list of winners for this $50. Get a raffle ticket. You have a 1 in 200 chance of winning a brand new Stern Pro pinball machine, or 75 for the premium option. And I keep seeing people that I know over and over again. I guess it's, we know a lot of people in pinball, but I'm like, he won a game too. She won a game too. When is it my chance?
One day.
So, good luck to everyone who has gotten tickets. I hope you win. And if you don't win, I hope I win.
I hope you win. So then
I do too.
you can like trade me your Stranger Things for a while, and you can play whatever you win, and we could.
I'll trade you Stranger Things for Baby Pac-Man.
I'll let you borrow Baby Pac-Man. But you have to rebuild the monitor.
Oh, ooh, I know a guy.
Okay. We've got a pretty open zone here. I'm going to go grab a rag, and we're going to novice up this spot a little bit. And I got some extra low-tack painter's tape at Ace Hardware today. Just because with these older games, there are problems with the adhesions of the ink and stuff like that. Oh, I should raise this camera so I don't just look like I have a mouth. It's been funny actually going into businesses and stuff that I've only been going to during the pandemic, and like being like, hey, look, I have teeth. I have a mouth. Show me what your mouth looks like. Now that we can take our masks off in some places.
I'm so comfortable wearing my mask, though. I don't want to take it off.
It's so cozy.
It's so much better, especially when playing pinball or doing anything where I'm focusing. I'm always like, it's covered up. I look less ridiculous, right?
Yeah, no one can see all the weird pinball faces you're making. I got this Scotch Delicate Surface. Oh, wait. Which camera? Scotch Delicate Surface.
Nice.
48 millimeter tape, which will be just dandy. I was afraid that maybe using like some standard blue, maybe that adhesive might be a little strong, and if any of this stuff was slightly damaged, it could pull up some ink, and I don't want that.
No.
We're going to try to save this as much as we possibly can. Usually I would say no to a project that looked like this. If someone offered me this, any other game that had this kind of BS going on, I would say, yeah, no. But this game is just so nice, and I've always wanted a hotline. It's got a perfect back glass. Other than this BS, like the play field is really, 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 really juicy. And it will clean up very nice. So I'm going to, just because I don't have enough piles of projects, we're going to do another one.
It's different though. So like when you get bored of sanding, you can go and do some flip a rebuild and you get bored of that and you can go do some board work.
I usually like to do things to completion and not take a break, but with this show, we don't want to continuously show the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again every week, so we're jumping around, but it has me adjusting to new skills, like remembering how to put together an Indy 500 I took apart 5-6 months ago.
That was good.
It reminds me that I do have a memory and it hasn't all gone down the drain.
I definitely don't. Pinball Reviewer said, time to get out the wood glue and toothpicks for any screw holes that were not tightened down anymore.
Yeah, definitely. I think even though this game is in good condition, I will do that at the bare minimum. The posts are nice. I'll polish up some of the metal.
Such an artsy shot.
And clean and clean and clean and clean, but we definitely want to... What's up?
The handheld camera, give us some cool down the barrel sanding shot.
When we get there. Yes, absolutely. I'm going to apply the tape here really quick. And then we can look at some of the supplies I thought would be handy. And we'll see. I might need to make depending on the damage, right? I'm trying to figure out how to recreate the shooter groove, depending on how screwed up it is. So I've got a couple different grits of sandpaper, and I also got some sanding sponges that are kind of malleable. And we'll see how those work.
Daniel says you need a wood tool.
A wood tool? Which one? There's a lot of wood tools. I was thinking if worse comes to worse, I could get a 1 1/16 like rod, just a steel rod or something, and I could try to form that. This is going to be too wide, and I will have to press it in over some of these nails here. I could remove the nails. That one comes out easy enough.
Opie says all of them. The Wisp says a chisel.
Again, the reason I'm not chiseling and prying this off is I'm afraid that if the wood is really soft, it will start tearing some of the plywood with it, and that's something I very much want to avoid.
Oh yeah, Daniel said electric Dremel.
Yeah, Daniel, I'm a little nervous to use power tools just because the chance of doing too much, going too far with the sanding scares me. Actually, hold on. I'm going to take a picture. I am going to just remove this nail instead of piercing it. Yank out the handy-dandy phone so I can remember that this hole did have a nail in it.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Ta-da.
Von Crafty says, or Von Craft says, I hate sanding sponges. They feel all right to grip, but I usually just wind up wrapping them in sandpaper, which is redundant.
Yeah. Well, that's why I got it just to try. We're going to give it a shot, and maybe it will suck and I will not use it, but we'll see.
Yeah, Daniel from Project Pinball, what would you do to get this wood putty off of the shooter lane? Because he does lots of pinball repair and refurbishing too.
I've done some repairs on like some pretty damaged, like, the shooter lane entrances. I find it super hilarious that everyone who's selling a pinball game now takes a picture of the shooter lane to show that they have the world's most unloved, unplayed pinball machine. But I have done some slight repair there and filled them in a little bit, but this is terrifying. So I've got a line. Thankfully, also, we should be okay, but the rail does cover up this first, 16th of an inch, or not 16, I'm sorry, maybe like a quarter of an inch here where it goes into the actual artwork. We'll be okay. But what I did was I got, this is fun because this is something I've never done, so it will be neat to give a shot at this, give this a shot. I have some 220 grit sandpaper. I maybe should have gotten something a little hard, more gritty, because there is a good amount built up here. The 220 is probably going to start getting saturated very quickly. I also got some 320 and some 400 for places that I need to get into very tight.
And then I got these sanding sponges here that are 220 grit as well, and I'll see how those work. I think I'll try to use all of the paper first. I'm going to fold it into some squares and see what we can do.
Nice.
This is nice, having the pinball playfield so high as well. I don't have to like bend over. I'm not gonna like destroy my back, which I normally do when I do these long repair sessions.
Yep. Daniel from Project Pinball said he would basically do the exact same thing you're doing. And to Wisp says, maybe there's no damage and the previous owner filled that in because they didn't like the shooter lane groove. So.
Yeah, well, I used to be an optimist too until real life happened, and I know that this is not going to be that gentle.
No,
this is going to
be a secret code.
Nah, it's screwed up. I mean, there are some obvious signs that there is some sort of damage here, right? Look at the delaminating plywood.
Oh, Daniel said you can wrap a sandpaper on round pipe and just sand it like that.
That's what I was gonna do to get the groove back. But look, we've
nice.
Kyle got his groove back.
There's one chip missing here from this layer of plywood. This one is loosey-goosey.
Oh, no.
This is delaminating, that's delaminated. This whole side right here is also relatively soft. Once I get this sanded down, I probably will get some super glue and inject a bunch of glue along here into here, and I will clamp it overnight and let it really try to bond back together.
It was swimming in something.
That's the weird thing, right? Because you'd think that if there was moisture damage here, it would also be apparent elsewhere. It doesn't look bad, so I'm not sure. The thing, South Carolina is a brutal place for pinball.
Oh.
If there's no,
soda.
this game probably was in someone's garage or it was in someone's barn or something, and maybe just a bit of humidity got to it, and that was the result. It's sad, but whatever.
I spilled my coffee on it.
Oh man.
Before you bought it.
Oh man. We'll see. I'm gonna fold this sandpaper and make myself some squares here real quick. So.
You should make cranes. Origami cranes.
I'm not that talented.
Oh.
Unicorn from Blade Runner.
That'll be a mode on my my Blade Runner pinball machine. You have to shoot which side and which way to fold the damn paper. Hey, good idea. Write that one down so I don't forget.
It's done.
Okay, thank you.
And so everyone in the chat, when you start sanding, if it's too loud because his lav mic is there, let me know so I can ride his audio levels.
Yeah, well that's the other reason we're not using power tools, because, oh man. I do have an orbital sander. I was thinking about bringing it, but
we could do it.
It'd be too dusty in here. It'd be weird.
Dent. It was probably some milk.
Ooh, milk.
Like they left milk there for Santa before Christmas, and then he got excited. He tipped it over. No one found it till the morning.
Damn Santa.
They were waiting for him to put gifts under the tree.
Well, let's give it a shot. This is gonna be awful, but.
Oh, you don't care about the noise? All right. Maybe
yeah,
nice.
I should have got
Maybe
something.
Kind of like ASMR.
Yeah.
Standing noise.
I should have gotten something a bit more gritty to do the top bit, but we'll see what we can get.
Yeah, it'd be like chunky if it was actually milk. We should just all be silent for the next 30 minutes while you sand.
Nah, that sounds weird. I already feel weird like having people just watch me sanding right now, you know.
Well, while Kyle's sanding, if you have any questions on your pinball games that maybe Kyle or someone in the chat can help you out with, you're stuck with a game that's not working and you just need some advice, throw it in the chat. If you have any other questions, let us know. Throw it in the chat.
I should put a mask on, but I'm also good at holding my breath, so we'll see.
Obi says we are all judging you.
For what?
And Daniel was like, it's okay, just sand it, Kyle. Like, yeah, Kyle's stage fright from standing on camera.
I get nervous doing things that I haven't done before, right?
Can you turn off the ring light on the... Awesome. No, you're doing great. This is exciting. It's like gonna reveal, so it's like a scratch off lotto ticket. We're seeing if we have the winning number underneath.
If we can get it done quick enough. I'm gonna try to find a rag so I can wipe away some of the dust here. Is that a gross one? No. This one's too nice. I'll use the one I was using over here. You always have to designate, there always has to be like 3 rags, right? A really clean, nice one that you use for things, and then the really gross one. This one's gonna be the gross one. Oh, look at that. I just ripped
No!
plank. Have to be real gentle here. Yeah, the 220 is really sanding this nice and smooth, but it's taking forever.
You destroyed it.
But again, I chose this this path, and the slow path
No
is
shutback.
what we're gonna stick with.
So, Trump's Turn on YouTube said Electra is having a problem with their Electra. He has a new Altec lighting board, likely. Not all lights work, though. All new SMDs.
Got new diode. You've got bad lamp sockets, most likely. I think we've done many talks on this show about lazy lamp sockets. So I would try to find some of that. It's very common with Bally games. The lamp sockets start to get nasty and corroded, and they stop working. So you're going to want to get in there with a socket cleaning stick, or start rotating the barrels and the pins on the lamp sockets and see if you can get them to come to life. It's not worth fixing them most of the time if they're really lazy. I only give them a couple chances before I just like straight out replace them with new ones. It's not worth fighting over them. They're very cheap and not super hard to install.
Pin Guy says, beer will help take that off. Don't use it on the playful, though. Just drink it.
Hey, man, I could totally use a beer right now. Unfortunately, we're straight out here, so. I don't want to blow it.
When are our socket sticks coming in, Kyle? Because they've been on order, so it should be any day now.
Couldn't tell you.
Saying that.
Couldn't tell you.
If you click on our website, email me when this item is back in stock. It will auto-generate, send you an email as soon as those come back in, and we put them in our inventory. So definitely take advantage of that, and we can drop in the socket cleaning stick URL now. Or maybe we can't.
I knew I should have gotten 180. I knew it. I knew it. It looks...
Oh, Grumpy EM Doctor's here. We needed you. Look at what Kyle's doing.
I'm trying to save this poor hotline.
I wonder why Twitch didn't offer our stream in a lower bitrate today.
Well, what do you mean? What's up?
So Grumpy EM Doctor, Mr. Valansky, couldn't get on Twitch for a while, and Family Games was having that same issue.
Huh.
Saying it was dropping.
In a lower... Oh, because it couldn't switch to the lower bit rate. Huh.
Right.
Weird.
Yeah, he's going to need wood glue.
Trying to be really gentle with this loosey-goosey piece right here, but also get it out of the way so I could work on the ridge that it has built up here. I am getting down to wood on top of, with a little bit of putty on top. So once I get to that little bits, those little areas, I'm going to start switching to the finer grits.
Thanks, Mitch.
I'm going to try working on just the, whatchamacallit now, the shooter groove here. And I'm going to, we'll see, because I'm going to assume, right, like, we can assume here that most of the softness of the wood is located in this area. So I'm going to assume that this area looks the worst. That being said, this is a very old pinball machine. has been played a lot. And a lot of these older games, the shooter lanes are quite rough. So maybe we will get lucky. Maybe it will be just someone was like, that don't look right. I'm going to putty it, and I'm going to do a real bad job. We'll see. Nah, haven't tried this sponge yet. Let's try the sponge. I want to... This is so scary.
Oh, we're just mesmerized. We're all just sitting here watching you sand. This is probably the best content on Twitch right now, is sanding.
Well, you should have told me to do 2 hours of sanding then. It would have been great.
That's what I wanted. Sanding in silence. That's all.
This is the episode where I need Dominic to come and just like juggle behind me and like no one mention that he's even there the entire time.
Is he a good juggler?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I want to turn this into
can he ride a tricycle? I mean, a unicycle?
I want to turn this into like the Lynchian, the David Lynch style pinball repair stream.
Yeah.
Just stuff makes no sense, but it's there. Yeah. Yeah.
I can make the shot upside down again.
That's two Stranger Things. We're going for more like
Whoa.
Eraserhead.
That was
Twin
weird.
Peaks. Yeah, mostly Twin Peaks. Sanding sponge. It's soft. I have a feeling that this thing is going to get like impregnated with dust really fast and it will lose its scratchiness, but I don't know, let's just see.
Jaded. We're on the same wavelength. I just can't. We need to talk about something. I just get so caught up in like watching you sand and it just does turn into silence.
Okay, I'm not going to be here next week, so we're canceling our first PinTech show that doesn't actually land on a holiday.
That's the worst way to present that.
Well, we're talking about something now. We're going to run a rerun. So what do you guys want to see? Do you want to watch like one of those Stern game reveals or maybe rerun...
Baywatch episode.
Yeah, the Baywatch episode. I don't know.
No. But also, we will be preparing and promoting our Mandalorian PinTech Live episode.
Yeah.
Which we will hopefully have Brian Eddy and Tom Capera, the lead engineer of that game, on with us to go through the game and take a look at it, do our deep dive. We'll have some fun giveaways. That'll all be on June 24th, so 2 Thursdays from now. So save the date. It'll be a grand event.
Yeah, don't worry.
Super excited.
We didn't forget about that.
And check out Mandalorian.
It's going to be so rad. It'll be fun to talk with a new set of peoples. Tom Capera's been in pinball for a while. He did a lot of stuff at Williams. He was an engineer at Williams, and he designed a couple games as well. He designed a few games at Stern, and it seems like he's doing more engineering stuff now. So it'll be fun.
That's awesome. It'll be
Brian
cool.
Eddy. Again, it's like two old Williams
Two rock
alumni.
Stars, yeah, pinball rock stars from way back in the day. Another question: we have a minor touch-up on a Gottlieb.
Oh, you sound like one of our customers now.
Gottlieb.
Emoto.
It's because I like burped at the same time as saying
Oh,
it, and I caught the burp, so it just was really awkward. Thanks for calling me out on it.
Yeah.
Minor touch-ups on a Gottlieb MIBS.
Mibs?
Mibs. Okay, on a Mibs back class. Tough to get it. Outstanding. Specific paint, then what gray paint to cover? Like original gray?
Couldn't tell you, man. This is very, very much out of my wheelhouse. I do not do a lot of this stuff because I do not enjoy it. It does not bring me as much joy. I do some playfield touch-ups here and there, but I don't. But we're talking like, yeah, there's some black here, so I'm gonna dab it with some black paint. I'm not a master at color matching or anything like that.
ideally, I would really like to have a friend of the show, amazing person, Ashley
You
Ludwig.
can't even remember her name.
No, I was trying to think if I should say her real name or not. But Ashley, she works at a place called Pinball Alley in Rochester, New York. And she is an amazing playfield toucher-upper.
Yeah, her work is beautiful.
And I'd really like to kind of get the basics on that. And trying to convince Emoto that we should head up to Rochester, New York and do a series of videos and stuff with Ashley to get like some really basic tutorials. I mean, what it comes down to, though, is like you don't want to do any painting without clearing over it or protecting that paint.
Gottlieb.
The paint is very soft and will come off quickly. So you want to make sure you're prepared to seal it somehow, and then it turns into a slippery slope, right? Like, do you want to like just tear down the playfield?
Data East or Data East? Oh no,
It's Data.
I never even thought about that.
I got a Data East.
Data East. I say Data East, but if I'm talking about data, then I say data. But if I'm talking about Data East, I say Data East.
Huh.
What do you say?
Data East.
What if you're just talking about data?
I say data.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Because
just call us Stern.
my favorite Android. No, I was talking about like language the other day, right? Did I tell you the story about that girl that was like, "Are you from the Midwest?"
Data East.
And it's kind of weird, the way people.
How does Gary pronounce it? Ooh.
English is such a strange, awful language. Okay, we're kind of getting there.
Wow.
I'm just taking it very slow. Okay, we've got wood here now, so we're almost through all of the putty. And again, I guess here's the other big problem we're going to run into. Is that since these are rough to begin with, there is going to be crevices where the wood putty will just be. So I need to decide if we're going to go all the way through, or if I might very gently try to pick it out using a dental pick or something like that.
Tomato. Zachariah.
I say Zachariah.
that.
I don't know.
Some people say Zachariah.
Zachariah is wrong.
Zachariah.
Zachariah could be proper, but I don't speak
Zachariah.
Italian, so.
Zachariah. Zachary. Yeah. Oof. Pinball's tough, y'all. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for
they're
watching
all
me
troopers.
stand. I'm realizing that we haven't dropped in any sort of viewer count, so maybe I should just quit my job and do ASMR sanding videos. I'll make millions. We'll see. It is exciting, though. I mean, it is kind of like archaeology. Like, what BS are we going to find underneath here? I definitely like the sandpaper right now.
Habit trails or happy trails? Habit rails or habit trails?
Habit
What?
trails is what I'd say.
Habit trails or habit rails?
I need a habit trail for my Lord
Abbey Trail.
of the Rings.
Sounds European.
What's the right way to say it?
I don't know. I can't speak English.
Well, it's a habitat, right? And not a habitat.
My mind is like,
Yeah.
I always say things wrong a lot. And I'd like to blame my Asian mother for that, but really it's my fault for just
Not paying attention
not
in
being
English
very
class.
articulate. Yeah, not paying attention in English class.
Nancy says, Zachariah.
Mamma mia.
Carmen said it.
Hmm.
Carmen said it.
Kyle on Zachariah. Kyle,
What?
you're right on pronouncing Zachariah. Zachariah. Wait, I don't even remember which one is the right one now.
Zachariah. I think people put emphasis on the wrong spot. It's Zachariah, but I think. I don't know.
Zachariah.
Combos over sanding.
I gotta pay attention, not think about pronouncing words.
Words are hard. Man.
Words are hard. I can barely
Do
speak
you
English.
say sanding or sanding?
I say sonding. Okay, we're getting
Look,
really
see,
close
Termo
to the
and
wood
Grammy
here.
is coming out with some Nihongo, some Japanese. You know who actually speaks really good Nihongo? Nihongo ga jozu ga Mitch-kun.
Yeah.
Steve teaches
Your
me how to
Japanese is
pronounce
surprisingly good. And
Chinese
his
words.
pronunciation is good too.
Steve also helps me pronounce Greek words and Latin words, because Steve studied Latin and Greek when he was in college.
And Japanese.
And Japanese.
It is spiraling. This is what happens when we have a sanding episode. This is great.
Oh, we get to learn a little bit more about each other, you know?
What else? Well, so we have 15 more minutes. Again, anyone, if you have any questions about your pinball machines or anything you want to ask Kyle, that's not what his favorite Star Trek episode is, because we've already covered that and we don't want to cover it again, feel free to drop it in the chat.
Wow.
And you didn't like that.
Wow.
And in the meantime, let me click over.
Yeah, so what? We're doing Mandalorian. What'd you click over to? Oh.
Our main layout.
I was gonna say we're doing Mandalorian in 2 weeks. Here's something for you guys. I can ask you a question. I'm going to Nashville next week. Give me some things that maybe you guys that have been to Nashville enjoy doing. Definitely going to the Country Music Hall of Fame. Going to enjoy all sorts of food.
Go to that one breakfast spot. That's amazing.
Which one? Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I don't know. That one.
Breakfast.
Pinball Alley. Ashley, does she work for Marco customers or just go to BG Restore?
Ashley does work with us sometimes. She has been to a few shows with us, but she does not actually work for us. She does full-time art stuff at Pinball Alley.
I hope he doesn't look at the screen. Well, what I was going to say was I just wanted to remind all of you and anyone new in the chat that there is a pinball benefit fundraiser going on by the San Antonio pinball community, and they are raising money for young Elijah, who's battling with childhood leukemia, and we are proud supporters of their event, and would love for y'all to support them, to show some love. Pinball communities unite to, help battle these terrible things our kids have to go through. So I'm going to drop in their PayPal link too. If you care to learn more about their event, you can check out their Facebook event page, learn more about the family that we are raising money for. We're helping raise money for. This is little Elijah. It's a 4-year-old little flipper. It just stinks when stuff like this happens, but everyone comes together and donate to the PayPal, help him out if you got it.
I love his.
No pressure, but.
I do love Elijah's pinball concentration face.
I know. Let's go back to it. Isn't that so cute? Oh my gosh. He's standing on a Marco stool, probably.
Yeah. What was Kyle doing in Belgium? I was in university. It was part of my one of my courses I was taking, minoring in like archaeology-ish. But I studied 18th and 19th century European history. And that is what I'd still be doing if I didn't run out of money.
Two crypto guys says they're in Nashville. When will you be here?
I'll be there next week, Thursday through Sunday. My wife's aunt and uncle live in Nashville, so we're going to go visit them. And we were thinking, just find some other things to do out and about in the city. So I've never been. I'm very excited to go. I mean, I'd really like to just go to Dollywood, but we're going to save that for a separate trip.
Are you going to go check out Game Terminal?
Yes, I'd like to if I have
Send
time.
me a video walkthrough of it.
If I had, I think I might be able to find time to do it. I wasn't sure if it was actually.
Why are you asking for suggestions of things to do if you don't have time to do anything?
Well,
because it's easier to be like, oh, this is a really rad bar, or this is a really rad restaurant.
I think they serve food.
I think they do have a bar. And that's bar and pinball. It's right up my alley. I try not to drag my wife to like pinball things on every vacation we go to, so that's the real reason.
CH Patton says do the backstage tour at the Grand Ole Opry.
Ah.
They probably like that.
That would be cool. I would
love. Oh no! Did Kyle remember? He was going to let us all know which rivet tool he recommends for using ramp rivets.
Did I remember? No, but I can get that information now. Really quick. This is overkill. Again, most of you... Oh, gosh. My hands are going to get all over my fabric phone case.
Opry?
All this
Opry?
dust. Yeah, the Opry.
Opry?
Give me 1 sec.
If anyone wants to make us emotes, I will gladly trade nice emotes for our Twitch stream for some cool pinball swag from Marco Pinball.
What camera's on?
Send me a message. Open invitation.
Okay, this is the one I used to have. It's a Hansen.
Opry House. Opera. It's bad, Colin. It's bad.
Oh, it's
We've been sanding for an hour straight. Oh.
This is I think it's called it's a Hansen, an HS42E. Sorry. But that's the thing. It is a $150 tool that you would use for one dang, ramp. So it might be worth investing in a less expensive one that might not be as like 100% capable as that thing. To do just one ramp. Now, if you intend to do many, many, many ramps, or you really enjoy collecting tools as I do, it's an incredible tool. But it is kind of overkill if you're just trying to do one ramp. But I also am not here to dictate your purchasing, so do what you want.
Sage advice.
Gosh, I don't know, man. This looks
can you tilt
fine.
down?
Yeah, hold on. Let me do a couple more passes. I'm actually going to get a finer grit really quick. And I'm not going to be as precise with my tearing because that was being obnoxious.
Cool, you have 10 minutes to finish sanding the rest of that.
No. I need someone to come and bring me some beer, so I'm more inclined to do this weekend.
Yeah, Midge, you should be on the other side sanding with him. You could like sand together. I'll play some music. It'll be nice. We'll dim some of the lights.
Sanding party.
Oh, okay. Hey, check it out. 2 crypto guys. Game terminal's fun. Games are set for general public play. They have food trucks that pull in. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Game
awesome.
Galaxy has a better selection, set for
you have to
tournament
go to
play.
Game Galaxy too.
Oh, I'd like to check out both.
And Pins Mechanic, they have a pretty interesting bar, and you can play that miniature bowling game.
Yeah, I've been to Pins Mechanical in Charlotte. I went there with Mark once. That was fun. Neat place. I think it's like, I wouldn't say, okay, I've never been to either of these places, but there's 2 kinds of pinball places. Like you can you've got places that are set up more like a public location, right? Like you were saying, it's just kind of like, yeah, the pinball's there, they're good. They might have a couple errors. And then there's places that are like militant about keeping them tournament perfect, etc. And I don't think one is necessarily better than the other. I think there's something really charming about mastering a pinball machine that might be leaning to the left just ever so slightly. And, there's something fun about those old school kind of location places. So I don't know. I'll try to check them both out for sure. I was like nervous when I looked at the game terminal because I don't know the layout of the land in Nashville very well, or at all. But I realized that it's actually in Nashville. It's not like in some crazy part of a suburb or anything like that. So it won't be too hard for us to get to.
Did you go with us to Grand Old Game Room Expo? Were you around?
No, I didn't do that last year.
Oh, that was a fun show. That's in Nashville too.
Yeah, I don't know. Pinball's fun. It's all fun. Okay, let's take a look at this really quick. From what I can see, it doesn't look, at least in the shooter lane, which the initial bump, right?
Can you tilt down the handheld camera?
Yeah, give me just 1 sec. I'm just trying to
You don't always say that.
excavate.
We can't see the shot with your 1 second. Give me 1 second and
Hold
tilt
on,
the
hold
camera
on, hold
down.
on.
Go ahead.
I'll have something to show you in just a moment. You can't see nothing when
know.
the towel's there.
Oh, you're trying to do like a reveal?
Well, it's just, you don't need to see me wipe away dust, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we do. That's the best part. Make it slow-mo.
This is normal.
Oh.
A lot of these
Okay.
60s Williams games, they definitely are cracked up like this around the shooter lane. But I don't see anything nasty. The ball does exit about here, so I haven't gotten to the really, the highest wear part. But like, shucks, if all I have to do is get this crap out and then like brush on some lacquer or something, I'll be really pleased.
So your new theory is what?
My new
Why would
theory
they
is I
wood
still
putty?
don't know anything, but I am pleasantly surprised that this isn't like all gray and soft.
Yeah, mushy. Right?
So
Looks all right. We want to see the end. Can you just keep sanding for 5 more hours?
No.
Where's our before and after?
We'll have one eventually. I'll keep working on this. Unfortunately, we won't be producing any more sanding ASMR content, but, you know, unless the chat demands it. What does that say? Steel?
It's pretty great.
Got a
Oh yeah, that's why I was giggling
Whoa.
earlier, because the Wisp and Colin Baxter were talking about scores.
Wow.
DS scores.
Who has someone on our Discord has a huge video game
Two
collection.
crypto guys, that's awesome. Your daughter's so cool.
Huh.
When we went to Grand Old Game Room Expo, you know how Mike Vinicor brings all those little mini plastics?
Yeah.
So I gave this awesome girl a bunch of them, and she was like, oh, I'm going to make them into earrings. And then she came back with like the
Aw.
little AC/DC lightning bolts
Oh,
into
heck yeah.
earrings. And it was so cool.
That's
I
awesome.
loved it. That's awesome. I remember.
I love slinging little plastics with Mike. That's always my favorite way to kill and chill out for a minute, kill some time.
Yeah, those little plastics make awesome jewelry and gifts and stuff.
I am actually, I said that I'm not an optimist, and now I feel like a bit optimistic about this entire endeavor. We'll see. I think there's definitely still room for surprise and massive amounts of failure, but this is looking okay. Hopefully. Maybe it is. Maybe it was just standard wear that someone thought was really bad. And they're like, well, I'm going to do someone a favor by slopping a bunch of nasty wood putty all over this. And maybe that's just the luck of the draw. Maybe this is going to be nicer than I thought. I still think we do run into the problem where I do need to treat it, right? I'm going to need to find something to, like, make it look better and more natural, and then coat it again. Because we are going to sand off the varnish, no matter how gently I try to avoid to do that. So I'll have to practice. I've got a few screwed up play fields that I can use as a testing ground for brushing lightly or maybe spraying some varnish on. We'll see what I can get. Nice. So yeah, I am nervous though. This is something I've never done before. So thanks for being here while I do it. Y'all are giving me some confidence to try something new. And I know that I've been talking about putting an EM on this show forever, so even though we're starting off doing something not so exciting, we will have EM content soon. And especially if Mr. Grumpy Man, I don't know if David's still in here, but I really do want to do the episode with Jack in the Box and Mr. David Belansky.
Yeah, hopefully we can do that soon.
He's taught me so much about electromechanical
wow.
games.
Yeah, so time is traveling so fast, y'all. So just to recap, next week we'll be doing some reruns and some promotions for our Mandalorian stream, which we will have the following week on the 24th. So stay tuned for that. We'll have a bunch of giveaways. We'll have Brian Eddy, hopefully, and Tom Capera, hopefully, on our show with us. The next day on Friday, we want to do an after hours where we'll actually play the game and have Mike Vinicor on there teaching us some rules and fun stuff about the game. And then the next Thursday, we will be headed to Midwest Gaming Classic nights. And we'll be doing some live streaming content there all weekend. So we hope to see you guys at that event. And if not, we hope to see you in the chat room. We'll do some walkthroughs and you guys can direct the camera what you want to see. And then we'll do, maybe a PinTech repair on a game. There's a rare game that the founder, Dan Lucen, has that piqued Kyle's interest, so maybe we can get him to do some PinTech-y type stuff. Otherwise, we're just going to be talking to people. We're going to be playing some games, doing some fun event stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be really fun to just go to a new pinball show, right? It's been so long since
in the chat is going to go to MGC nights. So
and also,
it's different than actual Midwest Gaming Classic, which they will have a November show as well. This is like just a smaller show at the old location. I think it's the Brookfield Sheraton. It's going to be very intimate. The arcade's going to be open 24 hours all through Friday night and Saturday night, and it's going to be a big party. They suggest adults only. Kids are allowed to go. Oh God, what is happening to this?
Wait, I'm trying to. Oh, wait, it goes like this. The camera fell over, and then I forgot how physics work. Okay, go back.
All right, I'm done promoting. But here's the link.
Well, hey, we have more promoting to do. We have more promoting. If you have questions for Brian Eddy or Tom Kapora or Mike Vinacore or whoever, or you have questions about The Mandalorian, I can convey those to people.
Send us. Well, you should join our Discord and then ask the questions in there so we can add it to our list.
Yeah, definitely. I think that would be the funnest
you can
way.
Send an email to marcotv@marcopinball.com.
I don't mind crowdsourcing the question sometimes, But then obviously if you want to ask a question, just join the stream and ask it in the chat, and Emoto will ask it, but Oh,
Namco 003 checked out the Pinball Hall of Fame. Their new location is open in Vegas. They have a giant neon sign on their front building that says Pinball, and I'm pretty sure you could see it flying in, which is exciting. And I hope to get that shot one day when we go check it out.
Yeah, I'd like to go to the new location. It's been
90% of the questions being about the Mandalorian show? No, I doubt it. Unless you just come in here jaded and spam the chat asking what the baby's real name is or something like that.
Who's that little green thing? I don't know. I'm excited. I haven't been to the Pinball Hall of Fame since 2014, 2013. It's been a long time. Actually, no, I went in 2016 with Mike. I don't know. Whatever. It's been a long time. It don't matter what year it was. It still has been a while. So.
Yeah.
Look at that. Wow. I'm very pleased. I kind of don't want to go home and just kind of finish this, but unfortunately I have other things to do. But this is actually, I think chat was right. There actually is no problem.
Yay! That's best case scenario. Trump Turn says, thinking about why the beautiful hostess ignored my question at 2:56 p.m. If you're talking about me, sorry.
No, it's me.
Maybe
sorry.
You're talking about Kyle. I know. Well, if we ignored your question, I'm sorry. A lot of stuff's going on in the chat. Feel free to ask it again, and we will ask Kyle. Ask Kyle anything.
Already revealed too much about my own personal life.
Yep, and Family Games is back. We just did another shout out for that pinball benefit event, but since we are about to log out soon, I will repost that link. And he says, follow Fliptronic, because Fliptronic is going to actually live stream the tournament. So that's great.
They're the best.
Y'all have such an awesome community down there in San Antonio.
Everything's bigger in Texas, including the lovely people in pinball. And Buc-ee's.
Right, so here's some links for y'all to check that out. If you could spare any coin, it will go to a good cause. Oh, definitely not Kyle, though he is cool. All right.
Uh-oh. Am I cool?
There it is. I'd have to finally buy an old Vespa, Kyle. You finally
Cool.
bought one. Oh,
Actually,
congratulations,
I
Daniel.
saw your picture on Facebook, Daniel. That's pretty cool, man.
He's a
I'm
goofball.
jealous. Just leave it
Awesome.
like that. We're done. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you just need a little groove and then it'll do its thing, right?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
I'm gonna make it right. You don't do something half way. You do it the whole way. No quitting.
Oh, nice. Jaded's moving to Texas. It's awesome.
So yeah, who are we streaming and or rating? And I'm also
Dark Fiber. Yes, we are going to Southern Fried Gaming Expo. It may
Yes.
possibly be our largest show of this year, potentially. So far. We're partnering with Classic Game Rooms from Georgia. They're an awesome distributor in the Southeast, and we are going to bring you tons and tons of Stern games. And it's going to be great. We'll be there all weekend long, and I hope they have the live wrestling there.
the second best distributor next to us. No, I'm just kidding.
Kaz says, would like to see the finished product, but time Pinball's on? We want to see the after of the sanding too. So we'll make sure Kyle takes a picture of that or shows it at some point. Oh my gosh. I hope you vacuum.
That's mostly on here. It gets everywhere, which is the problem, but
Mostly.
it's mostly on the blanket I laid down, and also all over my shoes. Whatever. I guess I can't.
Thank you for the sub to Crypto Guys. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, if it's not, I've never had a job in an office really. I've always had dirty jobs, so it feels good to get dirty and be dusty and nasty. So.
You want a close up of Kyle standing?
You missed it, man. We've been doing that for a while.
What do you mean? He's standing. You want to like?
No, sanding.
It is. Oh.
It's come through, man. I mean, it's like, again, I don't see anything massive. Oops, I almost tripped
Oh,
on the
I was
camera.
like, here's a close up of him standing. All right, while I look for a Twitch stream to raid. You have your camera tilted down? We can do a little nice, tight sanding.
It looks pretty good, man. I'm actually like...
Oh, you missed it. Okay, look. We'll go to this one. Yeah, there you go. All right, a little bit more ASMR playfield sanding while we look to see who we're going to raid. And for everyone that's not on Twitch, you are missing out. It's free. And you get to do all sorts of fun interactive stuff. And join our Twitch community. Follow us at Marco Pinball.
And if I actually do stream on the weekends, generally I will only stream to Twitch. So if you're not on Twitch, please come to Twitch.
Yes, even another reason to go. So,
Sanding streams.
Ghostbusters or Avengers Infinity Quest?
Both good games. You're going to have to give me the name of who's streaming each.
Ghostbusters Mystery Pinball Theater 3000.
Ooh.
And Laserlos is streaming The Avengers. Didn't we raid Laserlos last week?
I think we've been giving Laserlos a lot of love, and I think Ghostbusters is a really good game to watch Manu's
I agree.
performance on. So I'm going to say
Oh, that's right.
Saturday's Pin Clash.
I need to promote Pin Clash.
Oh.
So everyone should watch Pin Clash this Saturday.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
It's an epic live streamed heads up tournament event run by the IE Pinball crew out in Southern California. I'm sure it will be streaming on IE Pinball on Twitch. And it's my favorite tournament format, so it should be a lot of fun. The last time they did, what game did they do it on? Jurassic Park? Maybe they had a variety of games, but this time it's on Avengers. It'll be really fun. So check that out. Thanks for the reminder, CNK. All right.
Yeah, so maybe I'll stream. If I stream, maybe I'll try to do it on Sunday then.
just in case people want to watch competitive pinball.
Yeah, that sounds
I'm so
alright.
excited now.
Oh, and last question. I had to ask it. Jesse Wara says, is that a centigrade playfield on the back of Kyle's shirt? Oh.
It is,
Let's
in fact.
go ahead and raid. Can we see?
Huh?
Oh, I don't
camera?
see you. Oh, look at that pose. Super cool.
Ta-da!
These are some limited edition shirts that we actually do not sell. So if you have one, then consider yourself very special. And if you don't have one, I'm sorry. We'll have other shirts for you one day.
I mean, let's be honest. Steve's wizard shirt is the best Marco shirt. So.
Right, the Marco Wizard.
Yeah,
Vintage.
we need to get more of those.
Yeah, you like that one?
Oh gosh, yeah.
For sure.
It's so good.
Steve, Midge, you're wearing yourself on your shirt.
Yeah.
You know, I never really made that connection, and that's you, but it makes total sense now. Like you in 50 years, of course.
Right.
But
Or tomorrow. Whatever.
What is aging?
yeah, exactly. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for the great show. Kyle, great work with your sanding. I hope it goes well for you.
Thanks.
He'll still be here 8 hours later. But for now, on Twitch, we're going to go check out Mystery Pinball Theater 3000. And everyone take advantage. My dog just farted on me. That was crazy.
Wow.
Did you guys hear that?
No.
'Cause
No.
It was really loud.
We would have gotten away with it too if it had.
And it wasn't me. I'm blaming my dog. All right, we're going to go raid.
Get
Bye,
out of
everyone.
here. Get out of here. Bye, everyone.
Get out of here with your eye holes. Actually, I'm just going to leave this on and just keep watching you sand.